Chapter 9. The stories float around at school the next day of Caroline's terrible fall and how amazing she was to survive something so horrifying. Since I was an eyewitness, they make many of these comments around me, knowing they can't ask for details but hoping I will share. Everyone wants to be the one who knows the most. I merely keep my eyes on my shoes, refusing to provide more information. By the afternoon, I catch several whispers filled with lies that it was my fault. No doubt Adeline was adding her own commentary that accused me of having more of a direct hand in Caroline's injury. Since she basically needed to fly off the stage to land where she did, and I was on the ground far away from her, I'm not sure how the physics of that would work exactly. Jacqueline was the only one I confessed the entire story to while we were at the office last night. Well, almost the whole story. Caroline was checked in as an overnight patient at the clinic for observation after the doctor mended her open fracture. Since Jacqueline and I both worked the evening shift, she discovered the newest patient early. As we updated the chart, I provided a detailed recap of Caroline's accident, purposely leaving out the part where Ethan was watching her and I called out his name to distract him. When I finished recounting the story, she chuckled. I really want to say she gets what she deserves, but I suppose that wouldn't be professional considering we are taking care of her. We'll keep that between you and me. I laughed with a wink. When the long school day finally ends, I prepare to leave the level 14 through 17 building to meet Gavin. On the way out, I pass 2 level 15 girls whispering with their heads together. A shorter one, with chubby cheeks and thin hair like a newborn, grabs my arm and says, I would have aimed for her nose if I were you. The girl next to her energetically nods in agreement. Apparently, I'm not the only one who sees through Caroline's deceptive ways. After the tumultuous events from last night, I haven't had much time to dissect my last visit with Gavin. We ended on a bad note, but now so much has happened that I can't wait to talk to him. Between Caroline's fall and hearing the conversation between those 2 strange men, and the rough ending with Gavin, it was the most unusual single day I've had in Impetus. All happening too close to the future ceremony. If Gavin knew this, he'd say there was a reason for it. Signs from fate. I'm not sure I'd disagree this time. Nearing the thickets by the road, a man blocks my plans. Wearing a gray, long-sleeved linen shirt with matching slacks, he would have blended in with the steel building if he was standing any closer to it. The crunching of my footsteps on the road causes him to turn around before I can quietly retreat. An outline of gray hair surrounds the balding spot in the middle of his head like a misty lake. His thick eyebrows arch high above his steel-gray eyes. My hand shakes. I take deep breaths as inconspicuously as possible. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Slowly, he bends over and picks up a metal hoe on the ground. Beautiful day, he comments nonchalantly. I nod, but remain silent. His voice. I know that voice. His eyes drift from my head to my toes. A strange place for one like you to be at this time of day. You don't seem to be the type of student who would work in the gardens. He chortles, a strange sound that comes out more like heh heh than any pure laugh from others. I don't trust him. I work at the clinic, I respond, regaining my voice and immediately regret sharing details about my job with him. I like to walk by the gardens before my shift because they're pretty. I lie. Interesting. Maybe they assigned you the wrong role then, he states while tilting the hoe toward me. I can't tell if he is implying a joke or serious. He intently studies my face. It's a bit early for work shifts, I think. I don't want to glance at my monitor to confirm the time. A friend of mine had an accident yesterday, so she's at the clinic. I hope to spend time with her before my shift begins. I never thought I would claim Caroline as a friend, but in this situation, it's my only option. He cocks his head to the side and says nothing for a moment. I take advantage of the silence, shift my direction, and walk with more of a purpose toward the clinic. After a few steps, I hear him call out, "Enjoy your evening." I look over my shoulder and give a small wave. He leans on the hoe, still watching me. I quicken my pace, and as soon as I make it in the clinic door, I look once more behind me before closing it to make sure he didn't follow. Who was that? What was he doing so close to those thickets? Out of anywhere he could have been, he was blocking my one exit to Gavin. I wish I knew of another way to get to Gavin. I'm not as familiar with other options outside of the walls of Impetus. If I try another exit and get lost, it could be dangerous.
"There's our hero."
I immediately snap out of my thoughts. Brennan, Ethan, and Damien walk out of the back hallway with big grins on their faces. "Well, hi guys. Didn't expect to see you all here."
"We received special permission to leave early to update Caroline on what she missed. They were going to send a sub, but we volunteered instead,"
Ethan explains.
"Oh, that's so righteous of you guys. Nothing to do with getting out early, I'm sure." "Give us studious ones a little more credit, Evangeline,"
Damien snorts and adds,
"Like any more time there matters. We're done with school. They know that." "On that note," Ethan interjects, "awesome job yesterday, Evangeline. We were just talking about how you stepped up and took over when no one else knew what to do." "It's the quiet ones that always surprise you. And you've got some guns,"
Damien booms. Barely audible, Brennan mumbles,
"She pushed a cart. Big deal." "She did more than that,"
Ethan defends me.
"You heard Dr. Bourdin. Caroline could have gotten an infection or another broken bone if it wasn't for Evangeline's quick actions." "Don't expect to hear any gratitude from Caroline, though." "Geez, Damien. I'm sure even Caroline heard you say that. You're so loud."
Ethan turns to me.
"Don't listen to the rumors. We know you didn't push her."
"Is that what she's telling people?" I ask, grateful Dr. Bourdin isn't a witness to my question. I wasn't even close to her. Ethan places a hand on my shoulder.
"It doesn't matter what she thinks or is saying. We were all there, so we know what happened."
Damien leans in and whispers in my ear. His thunderous voice cracks when moved to that range.
"She thinks you're persuading the Elders Board to choose Ethan for you. She refuses to believe they can pair her with anyone else."
He leans back and puffs out his chest, beating on it like an old black-and-white Tarzan film we once watched clips of before the teacher promptly turned it off.
"But then there's me,
and the whole community can hear you." Brennan doesn't speak much, but when he does, his words drip in sarcasm. Ethan's head tilts to the side with brown eyes observing me. Flawless teeth flash and dimples appear in both cheeks. His smile is one of his best features. I can see why Jacqueline would want to be paired with him. Then a thought strikes me. Does Ethan also think I want the board to choose him from me? I can't have this rumor started. I'd say her reality is skewed, and I don't think the fall is the cause.
"I never thought I would hear an unkind thing out of your mouth, Evangeline,"
Damien bellows.
"We keep seeing new sides of you."
Ethan chuckles.
"You're stretching it, Damien. That wasn't an unkind statement, just the truth."
From the corner of my eye, I can tell Ethan is still watching me. I resist the temptation to look back at him. I have to get them out the door before Jacqueline comes in. "I'm assuming you guys are headed to the park."
"We were gathering a group to play ball,"
Brennan informs me.
"Ditch work and come join us, Evangeline."
Why does Ethan keep doing this? What's his sudden interest with me? Thanks for the offer, but Brennan interrupts me.
Dude, you know she can't bail on work. Let's go, now.
It's the sternest I've ever heard Brennan speak. I can't tell if he really is quiet or only secretly thinks everyone else is below him. Either way, I don't correct their work assumption. I'm only at the clinic to provide a plausible cover so the strange man doesn't become suspicious of my escape plans.
Okay.
Ethan succumbs. I'm grateful for Brennan's persistence.
See you tomorrow. Have fun with Caroline.
Damien laughs.
She's got a strong bite.
Once the sound of the slammed door fades, I'm left in welcomed silence. I survey the chairs spread throughout the waiting room with their purple suede cushioned linings, as though they can provide the counsel I seek. I need to decide if it's too risky to see Gavin tonight. Maybe Impetus knows someone has been sneaking in and out. Maybe that's one of the secret guards we've heard rumors about, although he looked too frail to protect the community if needed. I watch the minutes tick by on the wall clock. The office will reopen in 30 minutes for its evening appointments. One of my favorite times of the workdays is the quiet before the office officially reopens. The back end of the clinic is open 24/7 with overnight patients, the nurses that care for them, and any visitors the patients may have. Usually there's the hustle and bustle with bells constantly ringing, since remedy demands are more unpredictable in that environment. The main office is typically more serene. The door suddenly swings open as Jacqueline walks in with her green patched backpack swung over her shoulder. I didn't think you were working tonight. Jacqueline strolls across the room and plops in a seat, swinging her legs over the side and throwing her backpack on the chair next to her. I'm not, I won't tell her about the strange man I ran into, which propelled me into hiding out in the office. Not yet. I need to talk to Gavin about it first. Jacqueline wouldn't understand. She wouldn't see it as peculiar. Thought I would check in on Caroline. The lies out of my mouth are surmounting today. Oh, Evangeline, tell me you aren't believing the stories. We both know it wasn't your fault. She stands and puts a hand on my shoulder just like Ethan did earlier. Natural signs of strength and leadership. More proof of their great match. Ethan and Jacqueline would create children for the community that are intelligent, kind, creative, and fun. They need to be paired. Not Caroline with Ethan, and definitely not me. Instead of responding, I shrug. I already lied once to Jacqueline. I didn't want to do it again. She's my best friend, and I tell almost everything to her. Except for things that have to do with Gavin, and except the things I want to tell Gavin first. He consults me when I shouldn't divulge information to anyone else. Some things are obvious, but others are more sensitive. The dividing line between what Impetus wants us to know and the actual truth. I follow his call on it because I trust him. I exhale loudly. I trust Gavin. Clearly, there was something he wanted me to think about in our last visit, a conclusion he was encouraging me to reach on my own. He would do what's in my best interest. The way he helps me sort out the information I receive is with the same intention of sharing certain facts and not others. He's doing what's best for me. I have to get back to him. But that strange man, all in gray, was clearly suspicious of me. If he is still standing by the exit and sees me, he'll know I'm not actually working. He won't hesitate to turn me in to the officials and then be greatly rewarded for discovering a repeat offender of breaking, arguably, the chief rule in Impetus. Jacqueline misinterprets my facial expression. I was going to offer a switch opportunity, but maybe a night at the home would be best after your long day filled with all the Caroline talk. She's dissecting my eyes, trying to read my thoughts, struggling to not ask me about them. I bring my full attention back to her. Don't be silly. I'll work for you tonight, if you need me to. Oh, Oh, that would be great, especially since you're already here. She lowers her voice so Dr. Bourdin won't hear the true reasoning for the switch. I passed Ethan, Damien, and Brennan on the way here. Damien asked if I wanted to join them for a ball game. Her eyes dance. I will work any other shift you need. Just tell me and I'll do it. It was helpful that Damien invited her so she can be seen spending time with Ethan in a very social and public place. Surely several members of the board will catch them while walking their daily rounds. I don't mind at all. Have a great time. She squeals and hugs me again. You are the best. I'll talk to you tonight. Jacqueline flashes a double thumbs-up sign before closing the door behind her. The quiet resumes, and within seconds thoughts of Gavin and the strange man rush back. I sit down, suddenly aware that my breathing has gotten heavier, breaths shorter. Circles of lights swirl in front of my eyes. Beep, beep, beep. Unsteadily, I stand up and swipe my monitor under one of the Remedy Cube dispensers. As my name pops on the screen, so does the word late. I forgot to take my lunch dose. Get it together, Evangeline, I chastise myself. You will see Gavin tomorrow and everything will be okay. He will have the answers. Forget about it for tonight. That's all you can do. Deep down, I feel the hint of something stir. I still and wait for more. Nothing happens, but immediately I know something just changed. The truth is coming.